Check 1 2. Check. Mic check 1 2.
Laney Porter, yeah, I'm saying your name. Come hither, please. Run up to the press box. I need to borrow you for just a second.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to senior night here at the Union Softball Complex. Tonight, we honor 4 seniors as we celebrate their accomplishments their last year here at Union. Starting off, catcher, third baseman, number 3, JC4. JC is being escorted by her mom, Joy, her dad, Sean, sister, Kaylee, and grandmother, Cecilia. JC has been a member of the U-Hype for 3 years and is currently on the athletic council. She also enjoys hunting, fishing, playing ball with her travel team, and hanging out with her friends. After high school, JC plans to continue her softball career at Northern Oklahoma College in Enid. Her favorite Union softball memory is beating Choctaw in slow pitch state her freshman year and then beating Owasso in fast pitch regionals last year. JC's advice to our underclassmen is to always work hard, have fun, and stay out of your own head. Her mom and dad would like to give her the following message, which is, we love you and we're very proud of you. Keep God as your center. Don't let others define you or bring you down, and keep working hard. We're your #1 fans and excited to see your softball career continue. You will always be our favorite softball player. Ladies and gentlemen, senior JC4. Outfielder, number 16, Ashlynn Hernandez. Ashlynn is being escorted by her mom, Rory, and her dad, Antoine. Ashlynn is also a Union wrestling manager. After high school, Ashlynn plans to go to real estate school and to TCC, majoring in early childhood education. Her favorite Union softball memory was hitting her first over-the-fence home run in fast pitch her freshman year. Ashlynn's advice to the underclassmen is to don't give up on yourself and go hard all the time. But most importantly, have fun, because you never know when it's your last time playing. Her mom and dad would like to give her the following message, which is, Ashlynn, we're very proud of you. We love you, and may God bless you on your journey to young adulthood. Ladies and gentlemen, senior Ashlynn Hernandez. Outfielder, number 18, Caitlin Motley. Can you restart that? Caitlin is being escorted by her mom, Jenny, dad, Rob, and sister, Emma. Caitlin's hobbies include playing guitar, hanging with friends, making music, and annoying Coach Courtney. After high school, Caitlin plans to attend the Academy of Contemporary Music at UCO for music performance. Her favorite softball memory is Delaney socking her in the head with her bag at the golf suites, almost giving her a concussion. Good times. Caitlin's advice to the underclassmen is to always treat each other respectfully, don't be in a hurry to grow up, strive to improve yourself and others, and don't have a big ego. Have fun, and please annoy Coach Courtney as much as humanly possible. Her parents would like to give her the following message. We are so lucky to be your parents, and it's been a huge blessing to watch you grow up. Your smile is the sunshine in our day. We love you and are so proud of you. Oh, the places you will go. Ladies and gentlemen, senior Caitlin Motley. Shortstop and third baseman, number 1, Sydney Owens. Sydney is being escorted by her mom, Vanjie, dad, Tom, and brother, Maddox. Sydney's activities include playing travel ball with the Drillers for 6 years. After high school, Sydney plans on playing softball 2 years at a JUCO and potentially playing all 4 years, as she plans to pursue a career in nursing. Her favorite Union softball memory is getting to go to Colorado her sophomore year and beating Owasso last year in regionals, even when the odds were against them. Sydney's advice to the underclassmen is to keep working hard. There's going to be days you want to quit and give up, but I promise it all pays off in the end. This is truly a great program and an amazing experience. These coaches have made a huge impact in my life, and they can for yours too. Her parents would like to give her the following message, which is, you are stubborn, fiercely independent, and often drive us crazy. All these traits, along with your huge heart, have made you the amazing young woman you are. We love you, and we're very proud of you. We can't wait to share the next chapter of your life and watch what will no doubt be a very bright future. Ladies and gentlemen, Sydney Owens. Ladies and gentlemen, how about another big hand? Sydney Owens, JC4, Ashlynn Hernandez, and Caitlin Motley, your seniors for Union Softball. Thanks. I didn't mean to, I'm just like, I don't know what's, I just don't want this to, you know, it looks like it's playing, but what did you do? Just refresh it?
gentlemen, tonight's game between Broken Arrow Tigers and Union is being streamed live on the Union Sports Network at unionsportsnetwork.com. So if you know family and friends that want to watch their favorite softball player and could not be here this evening, tell them to stream the match live one more time at unionsportsnetwork.com. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to senior night here at Union Softball
At the Union Baseball and Softball Complex on the campus of Union's Freshman Academy for this game between the Broken Arrow Tigers and your Union softball team. First, let's meet the visitors from Broken Arrow. Batting first, playing second base, number 21, Taylor Clay. Batting second, playing shortstop, number 8, Emily Evans. Batting third, the catcher, number 7, Kylie Lamont. Batting fourth, playing second base, number 3, Maddie Messenger. Batting fifth, playing left field, number 10, Macy Childers. Batting sixth, playing first base, number 13, Emma Trine. Batting seventh, playing right field, number 15, Elia Scarborough. Batting eighth, the designated player, number 18, Ashlynn Hernandez. Batting ninth, playing center field, number 3, Presley Cole. And the pitcher this evening for the Broken Arrow Tigers, number 23, Sage Smith. Your assistant coaches are Mike Norton, Childers, Shipley, Seabach, Free, Romero, and your head coach is Randall King. Ladies and gentlemen, the Broken Arrow Tiger softball team. And now, your starting lineups for the Union softball team. Your catcher, number 14, Monica Franklin. Center fielder, number 2, Cad Gibson. Batting third, your pitcher, number 1, Lily Hance. Batting fourth, third baseman, number 3, JC4. Batting fifth, playing second base, number 15, Alex Magara. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, number 1, Sydney Owens. Batting seventh, playing right field, number 18, Caitlin Motley. Batting eighth, playing left field, number 10, Danny Perez. Batting ninth, your designated player, number 16, Ashlynn Hernandez. And playing first base, number 5, Bailey Dickerson. Your assistant coaches are Coach Dobson and Coach Morgan, and Coach Dobson, and your head coach is Jerry Pease. Ladies and gentlemen, your Union softball team. At this time, if you would please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Thank you very much. Your umpires for this evening are David Brown and Travis Blundell. Your scoreboard operator is Sean Ford. And don't forget, folks, you could stream this live on the Union Sports Network tonight. You join the great Emily Murphy and myself at unionsportsnetwork.com. And with that, we welcome in everybody here to Union Softball on the Union Sports Network. And tonight, Union takes on the Broken Arrow Tigers. And Union Softball comes in with a current record of 6-18 and 1-7 over their last 8. But last night, an 11th inning crazy game. Union beats Norman North on a squeeze play with 2 outs in the bottom of the 11th. And Union wins 6-5 for their first win in 7 tries. And so tonight, it's a real honor for me to share this booth. Let me introduce the person sitting to my right, and she'll help me sort through all of these numbers and all the craziness that is this season. She was a member of the 2011 state championship fast pitch softball team, named academic all-conference all 4 years for softball, is currently the academic advisor for the MBA program at OSU Tulsa, and she's none other than Emily Murphy. Emily, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. This is awesome. So we'll talk a little bit about what you've experienced here at Union, and I think that's going to be exciting. But the first thing I want to ask you is, when a team is struggling, I'm going to throw you right into the fire. When a team is struggling, what is the message that you would give to the team to say, hey, we need to right the ship? What do you want to see the girls do?
I think just continuing to do the little things right in practice and games. Hustling, diving after balls, things like that.
So you want to see the hustle in these girls, right? Mm-hmm. Right. And you want to keep it fun and lighthearted for them, but there's a game to be played here, correct? Right. Leading off for Broken Arrow, second baseman, number 21, Taylor Clay. So Taylor Clay steps in here, and we could talk a little bit about, you won a state championship in 2011. Tell me what, and the season's extremely long, what's that like to stay at that level and play that well for that length of time? Or did you guys get hot? Give me a little history behind that team.
Yeah, so we actually started off really well in the beginning, and we just came out and were hitting really well, and we kind of continued on that trend for a while, and then we got to a point where it felt like we were getting complacent, and so we had one game. It was actually against Owasso, and we struggled in that game, and then we ended up losing, but that kind of set the tone for the second half of the season and allowed us to kind of get out of this the complacency and come back strong in the second half.
Well, and I tell you, Owasso is still the powerhouse that they were in 2011. I can tell you, we have seen them come in here, and I hate to say shellac us, but they did. They did just that. That's outside, and so Clay gets on with a walk to lead us off here. In the strike zone, I'm just going to tell you right now, Emily, it was not near as generous as it was last night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We it was funny. Sean Ford sitting to your right. Sean joined me on the broadcast last night, and it was a very generous strike zone. Now, both sides. Let me be clear. Both sides, and we talked about it. That's what's nice, as long as both sides are getting it. So
for sure.
So Emily Evans steps in, shortstop here for Broken Arrow. Runner on first after a base on balls is Clay. She'll lay down the bunt, and that'll go foul. That'll go foul here. So favorite memory, you were here early enough to see that we honored our seniors. What's your favorite memory of playing here at Union?
State championship, of course.
Do you still have the ring, I guess is the question.
I do.
Do you? Okay, do you wear it?
No,
Oh,
I
come
just
on.
have it.
I was hoping you were going to wear it tonight. We could show it on the camera, and no, I think it's great. Now, is it one of those seasons where you could take me almost pitch by pitch through the entire season? Is it that vivid?
Yes.
Coming up on the 10th anniversary of it here, this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it was one of those things that you guys had dominated as nice play there by Hans to jump off the mound and get the first out of the evening. So is it one of those seasons where, again, you could go pitch by pitch and tell me everything about it?
Yeah, pretty much.
How well did you play? Were you the anchor that this team had?
No.
No? Okay. No? Okay. Fair
Everybody play. I mean, pretty much our lineup 1 through 9 hit pretty consistently, so that pretty much helped.
Gotcha. Well, and that's nice. It's nice, and we've got a handful of players. I will tell you, and Sean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. 1 through 5 for us, really solid. But sometimes when the bottom of the lineup's not producing, those girls that are in 1 through 4, 1 through 5 are gripping that bat just a little bit harder because they think they got to do it all.
Right.
That's for sure, and that's no fun when it's like that. So 1-1 is the count. Kylie Lamont, the catcher, steps in here for Broken Arrow. Ripped foul just into the fence here. So give me first impressions. You've seen this field before because you've come out and watched a few games. Courtney's asked you to come out. Have you walked on it?
I haven't.
Okay, so we're gonna have to get you out there. It's carpet. Grounder to second. Nice play there by Magara to get the second out. And Magara made that look easy on what was kind of a slow roller. So she's grounded out. It's like walking on carpet at home, except you can spill things on this carpet, Third baseman, number 2, Maddie Messenger. So Messenger will step in here. Runner on first is Clay. And I'll ask you this. What's it like, or how important is it to get a great start by your starting pitcher to get ahead in the count to, kind of go through and not allow any runs in the first inning for a team?
Yeah, very important. I think it helps set the tone for the defense. And
ripped it Owens just out of her glove. Nice backhand try by her, but that was a well-hit ball. Go ahead and continue.
And kind of helps lead into the offensive side as well.
So you're saying, yeah, so it can bleed over
right.
to the bats and at bat.
Mm-hmm.
Left fielder, Macy Childers. So Childers steps in, 1 run comes across on a hard hit ball by Maddie Messenger just past Owens, and it just kind of squibbled out. And the ump kind of got in the way of that one, and it got away from Franklin. I will tell you, Emily, when this team is on, we feel like they can beat and be competitive with just about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen them, just like last night, a number of times when this team gets down, they start to hang their heads and they don't play up to the potential. Last night, Kat Gibson pitched very, very well. She gave up 4, and I believe it was the 5th by the time she gave up any runs. But we battled back, and, of course, as I told you, it went to 11 innings. As that's right back to Hanson. We're out of the inning. So we'll come back and talk a little bit more about you and talk about what you think these kids need to do at the plate. She's Emily Murphy. I'm Jim Douthit. It's senior night here on the Union Sports Network.
Help Raising Cane's celebrate our Lady Redskin seniors. Stop in Highway 169 to 71st Street location to grab some canes, fresh, never ever frozen chicken fingers and sauce. It's the perfect way to celebrate with your friends. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. Our love for Union Senior Softball Class of 2022.
Leading off for Union, catcher number 14, Monica Franklin. So Franklin steps in, junior catcher here. And so quickly down 1-0. Now it's a long game, 7 innings, as everybody knows and you know. 8? I swear to God, you just said 8 to me, Andy. Anyway, 7 innings, as you know. Nope, I know. 7 innings, as you know. And so with Broken Arrow jumping out on top 1-0 and knowing the powerhouse that Broken Arrow is, you've been in this position before. Is there any change in when you come at bat? As a nice base hit up the middle by Franklin. Any change in that bat?
No, I think just knowing what pitches you need to hit as a hitter, and then just looking for those and taking advantage when they cross the plate.
Got it. Center fielder number 2, Kat Gibson. So Kat Gibson steps in, and boy, what a night for Kat last night. She came in and she started pitching. She kind of gave up the 4 innings, as we talked about, in the 5th. And then Coach Pease moved her to center field, and Lily Hance came in and really stopped any of the bleeding, if you will. And then Kat stepped into center field and was huge on that. So Kat obviously getting another start. These girls have 3 games in a row. Does fatigue ever kind of set in?
Yeah, for sure. I think just taking care of your bodies and knowing your limits and things like that.
Is that a conversation that you would ever have with a coach saying, hey, coach, I'm not feeling it, especially after 3 games in a row, and obviously the heat, not quite the factor tonight, but I can tell you it's been awful.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Yeah, and I think communicating with your coach on that's important, or your athletic trainer.
Gibson strikes out there. There's 1 away. Pitcher number 6, Lily Hance. I introduced her as number 1, I think, earlier on. Yeah, I did. Can't read my own handwriting. That's the fun part when you're high and outside. So we got to get you on the field. That's the first thing. We're going to have to talk with Courtney Dobson about letting you walk around the field, maybe run some bases.
Let me.
Think
no.
you run some bases? Come on.
No.
For old time's sake?
I don't have the right shoes for that.
She doesn't have the right shoes. You can run barefoot on this. Nice pitch there. And Smith is in control. 1-1 now. Runner on first is Franklin. And Hance at the plate. Delivery inside. And the velocity, I'm going to talk a little bit about Smith's velocity. We've seen some hard throwers, but she sure is slinging it for Broken Arrow. Is there a different approach when you got somebody that's throwing as hard as her for you as a batter?
I think, if you need to move it back in the box so you allow more time for the ball to come in, so you're not too late on it, is important if you feel like you're behind on the pitches.
So giving yourself that extra millisecond is going to mean all the difference in the world.
Right.
2-2 now. Swung on and struck out. And there's 2 away. And Smith has got 2 strikeouts on the evening, and I'll tell you, third baseman, number 3, JC4. Great crowd on hand. Senior night definitely brought him out, Emily.
Yeah,
it's good
for
to
sure.
see.
It's nice to see all the fans filling up the stands tonight.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I think a lot of them found out that you were going to be here as well, and so I think they're showing up.
I don't think so.
Oh, come on. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Courtesy running, number 7, Harmony Zog. So Zog will step in. Coach Pease gets Franklin back to the box or back to the dugout so she can start putting on her catcher's gear. There's 2 away. JC4 steps to the plate. Wind blowing for the first time, Emily, I'll tell you, out of the north, and it's a welcome feeling for everybody that's sitting in this, what is going to be really, really hot here in just a few minutes, because that sun, as soon as it crests this awning that we have, Did you bring your sunglasses?
I did.
Yeah, girl. Good. So you're going to get Hollywood. Like, put the sunglasses on. We'll turn the camera around on you. It'll be like big time. Like Joe Buck has nothing on you. The grounder to second, over to first in time, and Broken Arrow's away. We're through 1-0 Broken Arrow Broken Arrow coming up right after this.
Hey, folks, Cane's is here, as you might have seen, might have heard, and they've got a Cane's basket with lemonade or sweet tea for only $7, or you can get the basket alone for just $5. So please stop by and visit the Cane's tent, located just behind Broken Arrow's dugout.
We can do that for sure. Here we go. Is that Emma Trine? Yeah. First baseman, number 13, Emma Trine. Emma Trine steps in here for Broken Arrow. We're at the top of the second. Emily Murphy, Jim Douthit, producer, director Andy Irwin sitting right behind us, and first pitch strike for Hans. 1-0 is the lead for Broken Arrow. And that's ripped just foul down the right field line at 0-2. 0-2. So you haven't got on the field yet. Courtney's the one that gave me your number. So I'm going to blame this on Dobson.
That works
you're
for
not,
me.
Yeah, okay, that works for you. Right on. I still think we can get you to run the bases later. And you said you may have a few people listening out there. Wanted to hear you on the broadcast. Who do you got possibly listening?
Well, I know one for sure because she texted me. My friend's Hillary and Madison.
All right. Now, are they union grads or just people that you've met in your college?
One's a union grad.
One's a union grad. Strikeout there by Trine. Nice job by Hans to get the strikeout. Right fielder, number 15, Elia Scarborough. Scarborough steps in. And that's a good start for Hans to get the strikeout
Yeah.
here in this inning. So you mentioned the one young lady that went to Union. Did you guys play ball together?
No.
No, okay.
I actually met her after.
After, got it. We'll talk about your playing career a little bit as that's scorched right up center. Gibson will play it in center field and back in. And Scarborough's on with a base hit to center. Designated player number 18, Ashlynn Hernandez. So Hernandez steps in. Designated player here for Broken Arrow. Runner on first is the right fielder and Elia Scarborough. Just underway, top of the second here, 1-0 Broken Arrow on senior night. Got a great crowd on hand. We believe they came to see Emily Murphy or listen to her. I think they got a little confused because she's on the broadcast as opposed to on the mic. Now, I can hand you this mic if you want to talk.
That's okay.
That's
I'll
okay,
sit
all
in
right.
the broadcast.
She'll sit in. Swung on. 1-2 on the count. Nicest field you played on in your high school career?
Probably the Hall of Fame Stadium where the state tournament was.
And that's Oklahoma City area,
Yes.
is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard now, have you been down, have you followed the sport quite a bit? I mean, you got a great college career that we'll talk about. Have you followed the sport and seen obviously what OU did and then what the team from Muskogee did and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
What's your feeling about, and that's scorched to left field. Runners will hold there as that's a well-hit ball. What's your feeling about the state of softball, at least in the state of Oklahoma? Pretty good?
Yeah, I feel like it's really strong. I feel like the travel teams here are really good, and obviously you can see that with OU and the national titles they've won in the past few years.
They got a strong program down there in Norman. Center fielder number 3, Presley Cole. Cole steps in. Runners at first and second are Scarborough and Hernandez. I hope I'm pronouncing Ashlynn's name right. I'm not. Thanks, Sean. How would I pronounce it? Robler. Okay. Thanks. That was my second guess. Sean 4, everybody. He'll be here all night. Bunt. Back to Hans. Hans scoops it, and there's 2 away. Nice job here. Second baseman, number 21, Taylor Clay. I told you the sun was coming. Here it comes.
Yeah,
you can feel it. Absolutely. Clay walked her first time up, so has not registered a at bat yet, but she did come across and scored Broken Arrow's only run to this point. Popped up. Underneath it is Perez, and there's three away. So Broken Arrow strands 2, and that's a really, really good start for this team that's struggled early on, and a team like Broken Arrow. So it's a great start for them.
Yeah.
Great start for them. Union coming up to bat right after this. Second baseman, number 15, Alex Magara. So Magara steps in, bottom of the second. 1-0 is the lead for Broken Arrow, but they've stranded about 3 or 4 this evening already, which is a good sign for Union. One of the things that, and you've been privy to this. How many games have you been able to come watch this year? These ladies.
This is my second game.
Second game. So the first game. Remind me of the first game that you saw, because I think you and I talked about it a little bit.
I think they played Claremore.
Okay, and that was a.
It was early on.
Yes, that was early on. What we've seen out of this team is getting behind and not having the fight. One of the first things that Sean and I noticed last night is that the fight that these girls had, even when they gave up a 4 spot in the 5th inning, right? Mm-hmm. As Magara goes down on strikeout, swinging strikeout. Shortstop, number 1, Sydney Owens.
And I think coming back in a game just comes from playing all season and kind of getting in the flow of playing and things like that. So I think sometimes that comes later with experience.
And experience is one of those things that, you saw 4 seniors on this team. So, and two of them start on a regular basis in 4 and Owens for sure. And then Motley and Magara not starting. So we're really young in the sense that you've only got 2 senior starters. And so I would hope that means that the future's pretty bright.
Yeah, definitely.
How many seniors do you guys have on your team? Do you remember when you won the state championship?
We had 10.
Yeah, there you go. Big difference, right?
Yes, yeah.
Big difference.
It does make a
and you guys had played that entire time with each other.
Right.
Probably grew up through the system as Sydney Owens strikes out. Right fielder, number 18, Caitlin Motley. Senior Caitlin Motley steps to the dish. So 10 seniors as opposed to, let's see, Kat Gibson's a freshman. Who else do we have as freshmen out there, Sean? Yeah, Danny Perez. So you've got 2 freshmen, one starting in center and one starting in left field. Obviously the rest being sophomores and juniors. Franklin, yeah, and that's Monica Franklin. So 1 junior starter.
Yeah.
So lots of young. So what would be your message to the youngsters, knowing that the season? Let's be honest, the season's been rough with a record of now 6-18. How do you keep these girls motivated?
I think just learning from whatever experiences they had from this season and taking it to next year and just continuing to work hard in the off season and improving and developing.
And playing as often as possible. You talked a lot about the travel scene, and so every rep that you can get is going to be important.
Yeah, against good competition as well really helps.
Did you play a lot of travel ball? Mm-hmm. Favorite travel ball memory? Because that's outside. Did you win any champions? You got any hardware from that?
I don't.
That you're not showing off? Okay, no. Just making sure. Making sure. I was like, I was waiting for you to come in here with 4 or 5 rings, all the championships you've won. Okay.
Just one.
Okay. Just one. One's enough, right? It's a memory that'll last a long time. That's ripped back to Smith, over to first, and Broken Arrow's out of the inning. So that's it. Top of the 3rd coming up right after Canes.
The humble Raising Cane's chicken finger. 24 hours of marinating and not a word about its flavor. It credits that terrifically tangy sauce. And the cane sauce? Well, it's okay with that. But a premium, fresh, never-ever frozen tenderloin, hand-battered and cooked to order? Doesn't exactly need to brag now, does it? Same for the crinkle-cut fries. Center cut from the longest potatoes Idaho has to offer and added to every meal. Just because you have bragging rights doesn't mean you have to use them. Raising Cane's.
Back live here as that's popped. Just foul. Emily Evans, the shortstop, steps in here for Broken Arrow. 1-0 is the lead for BA. And Emily right here, looks like you got the corners kind of playing in a little bit, but with her swinging away, kind of what defensively are Four and Dickerson thinking as they look like they're getting ready to crash?
There's been a lot of small ball in this game, so I think they're probably just anticipating that. But it looks like she's trying to take the opposite approach of swinging away.
Got it. Makes sense. So she's swinging away, and you're right. It was mentioned earlier, a lot of small ball here. They've had some great shots in the center field, but they've got the speed to do it. Chopper to 4, over to first, and there's one away. Catcher, number 7, Kylie Lamont. So Lamont will step in. She grounded out to second her first time up. So mainly the positions you played were? Outfield. So, and I've seen this game played with 10 players, kind of a rover in the outfield. Was that when you were playing, was it like that? Or
No.
you just had there's a traditional 9 players out there. Okay.
9.
And center, right, left, did you play at all?
I mostly played right or left.
So you had some wheels, covered a lot of ground out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
You're smiling at me like you're waiting for me to tell you if you had wheels or not. I never saw you play. As that eats up Owens, and that'll get to the outfield. Boy, that was a tough hop for Owens to play. And Lamont will get a base hit to center. Lamont will stay in. Third baseman, number 2, Macy Childers. Well, that's Maddie Messenger. It's one of those nights. I think it was so long last night, Sean, that you know. So Maddie Messenger is up. She singled a shortstop first time up. It was a hard hit ball that Owens couldn't come up with. And there's another ripped right to center field. Perez drops it. They're going to wave the runner home. Owens will eat it at short, and it's 2-0. As the sun is directly in our faces now.
Yeah.
Oh, look, you've learned already how to use this. And the air conditioning comes on. Strike on the outside corner. 2-0 now. As Lamont scores after Messenger hit a base hit out to right field that was bobbled to 4. She checks on the runner, throw to first in time, and then tag. The ball comes out. We're going to have to see what the ump says if she hung on to it long enough, but she's going to be safe there at first. As the throw was kind of up the line, Dickerson went to tag her, but it jumped out of her glove, and Childers is on. First baseman, number 13, Emma Trine. So Trine steps in. She struck out her first time up. That's ripped to right field. That's over the head of Motley. One run will come home, and they'll hold the runner at third there. So second and third after a double by Trine. Over the head of Motley. Boy, that was scorched.
Yeah, that was a hard hit ball for sure. Not much you can do there.
Yeah, and Motley's position looks pretty good. Right fielder, number 15, Elia Scarborough. So Scarborough steps in. Doesn't look like, that was just scorched over her head, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Whether she read it well coming off the bat or not, that's tough to say, especially with the sun right in our face where it is. And the wind's kind of blowing at her back, left to right.
Yeah, it's going to keep a lot of balls in.
That's scorched out to right field. Motley will knock it down. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. And Scarborough's on with a base hit. Now, at what point, put your coaching hat on, at what point are you going to go out and talk to Hans? 4 runs are across. There's only 1 out. At what point are you going to go out and have a conversation?
Around this time, just to kind of break up their momentum, and then calm your pitcher down too.
So what's the message to her?
Just keep at it.
Keep at it.
Yeah.
Right. She hasn't pitched a bad ball game because they're hitting the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, she's pitching well, hitting her spots, it looks like. So.
That's for sure, just like that. And that's a nasty change, and she's ahead 0-2. To Robler, is that correct? Robler. Thank you, Mr. Ford. Ashlyn or Ashlynn? Ashlynn. Well, there's no H in her name. Swear to God. Oh, well. Ashlynn Robler. Thank you, Mr. Ford. We try to have as much fun up here as we possibly can, just so you know. High, 2-2. So let's talk a little college ball. You went to the Show Me State, played a little NAIA ball.
Yeah.
What was that college experience like? Swung on and struck out there, and a good timely strikeout by Hans.
It was really good. My freshman year we made it to the conference tournament, or we won the conference tournament, and then we made it to the opening round of nationals. So that was exciting to start off my experience that way. And then
your freshman year.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and then my sophomore year we did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was exciting to have that right off the bat.
What's the level of competition different between, let's say, 6A where you played and NAIA? Is it a huge step?
I wouldn't say it's a huge step. It's pretty comparable for the most part.
Anybody that you played with or against that you recognize from Oklahoma? You played, while you played travel ball on the circuits and things that you played?
Yeah, we actually would come to Oklahoma to play in the beginning of the season for non-conference. So we did play a lot of the girls that I played against in travel ball and in school ball.
Nice. So talk about NAIA ball. If we have people out there that obviously want to play college, talk about your experience going from high school to college. Was it one of those things where they came and recruited you, or did you walk on? Talk a little bit about that experience.
Yeah. So it was kind of so my recruiting experience was kind of crazy. Felt like it took a while for me to find a fit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a lot of college brochures and things like that when you're a senior. So I just went through the ones that had softball programs that were pretty competitive. And so then I just contact those coaches. And then with William Woods, it ended up fortunately being able to work out. So I think as far as athletes in the recruiting process, I think it's important to just find a school that fits you athletically as well as academically, and then to not get super hung up on that you have to go D1. There's other schools that fit just as well that are just as competitive.
Yeah, and I think we have that conversation, and Sean's shaking his head, so everything that you said, Sean's definitely agreed with. His daughter, of course, being our third baseman in JC4, and she's had quite a lot of looks. As we're going to go ahead and introduce left fielder number 10, Danny Perez. As Perez will step in here. And so, at what point your senior year, or was it even your senior year, as Smith is ahead 0-1, at what point in your senior year did you make that commitment to go to Fulton and play?
I think it was November of my senior year.
Okay. So you made your decision pretty early on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tough decision?
Yeah, I think it's a hard decision for anybody to make when you're 17 or 18 years old, just to where you're going to be for the next 4 years, and
Right.
kind of looking at the full picture.
Right. Is the program right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
One of the things that we talk about with players that leave here and go play really at any level unless they're playing D1 is that, gosh, the facilities we have at Union are nicer than NAIA Division III, whatever the case may be. Was it kind of the same feel?
Yeah, it
For
was.
sure.
From a facility perspective, it was quite a bit different.
Sure. Rip foul there. So Perez, 0-2, her first time up tonight. So we're in the bottom of the third. Five nothing, Broken Arrow on top. Outside 1-2, and that's a great eye. Sometimes it seems like when they're behind 0-2, even 0-1, these girls grip the bat a little bit more. You're wanting to try to do more than what is expected of you.
Yeah, I think in that situation it's important to just keep it simple and then fouling off any pitch that you don't want to hit, and then looking for one that you're able to get a base hit on.
How much, and it's going to sound weird to ask it this way, but how much does patience play into the game when you're either at bat or in the field?
I think it's a major part of it, especially I think like defensively. If you're an outfielder, you're not going to get a ball every time. It's going to be less likely. So I think just being ready for whenever the ball does come your way. And then from offensively, I think being patient as far as waiting for pitches that you can hit and kind of what's in your wheelhouse.
I think that's one of the things that we've talked a lot about. It's like patience, patience, patience. Mm-hmm. Again, we talked about a record of 6-18, and patience wears really, really thin sometimes, even for coaches, as well. But
sure.
It's tough. It's tough when you have a young team to not want them to push. And so I think Coach Morgan, Coach Pease, Coach Dobson have done a really good job as there's a strikeout to Perez. Designated player number 16, Ashlynn Hernandez. So Hernandez will step in here. Her first time up. Bottom of the third, 5-0. She's Emily Murphy. I'm Jim Douthit. Andy Irwin and Sean Four here in the booth with us, helping us out. We appreciate you guys watching and listening. And Emily, who else is out there listening that you might want to give a shout out to? Or are we done with shout outs?
I don't know who else is listening. I haven't gotten any more texts, so I don't know.
You haven't got any more texts. So if you're listening and you have Emily's number, please text her or tweet her for sure. Got to give a big shout out. I believe, Sean, Mom and Dad are listening back in Pennsylvania. So we appreciate the Four family listening back in what part of Pennsylvania again? Did you just say Meadville? Okay, Meadville. Thank you. Okay. Whew. Meadville. Meadville. And the strikeout number 2. And Smith making quick work as she's fanned 6 already. 6 strikeouts so far on the evening. Catcher, Monica Franklin. And Smith making easy work of, unfortunately, making easy work of Union. So as she's dicing through the lineup and throwing strike after strike as she's fanned 2 an inning, or an average of 2 an inning. As a coach, what are you going to tell your players at this point? She's throwing some cheese, if you will, right? What do you want to tell her? What do you want to tell your players?
I think, the first pitch typically is going to be the best pitch, so I think being aggressive is important, and just getting your timing down.
So jumping on the first pitch, making her defense work, because they haven't really had to tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
And this isn't one of those sports like in pitching where you're pushing a pitch count by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, she's going to throw, 125 pitches if she has to,
she'll
right?
Be able to come back tomorrow.
To come back tomorrow. And that's the amazing thing about that.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ever in awe? Did you ever get to pitch?
When I was really young, but
Okay.
it doesn't count.
Well, no, hold on. Well, okay. How young?
8.
Okay, yeah. Maybe it doesn't count then. You may be right. 2-1 to Franklin. 2 outs here. She slaps one's foul into the net. Now, I will tell you from experience here in about another 5 minutes or so, maybe 7, I don't know. Our meteorologist, Andy Irwin, can tell us the sun is going to be at a place where we will not be able to see anybody in the outfield. Swung on, and strikeout number 3. And Smith strikes out the side. We'll take a timeout. Broken Arrow coming up, top of 4 right after this.
Hey folks, this Friday night, Union Football hosts the Owasso Rams for game number 4 of this 2021 campaign. For ticket information for this Friday night's game, go to unionps.org/athletics or call 918-357-7410 for more information. You can also join Rick Corey for the call, streaming live on the Union Sports Network at unionsportsnetwork.com and live at 102.3 KRMG. That's Union Football versus Owasso this Friday, starting at 7. Leading off the Broken Arrow.
Second baseman, number 21, Taylor Clay. So Clay steps to the dish. She's one and one as she, or 1 for 1. She reached on a base on ball and on a single in the 3rd inning. Part of a huge run, and that was the weirdest thing. Our scoreboard just went completely out, but it's back now. Do we need to maybe turn it off, turn it back on? Call IT there, Sean? What do we need to do? It's the ghosts. Now, this is true. We've heard this before. You're not the first one that's mentioned ghosts. Emily, maybe ex-boyfriend that's floating around here or anything?
Think so.
Okay, all right. I just checking. Just checking. I don't know if we need to, perform an exorcism or 3-0 now. Just checking to make sure.
No.
Putting you on the spot. And Clay, again, draws a base on balls. As Emily Evans will step in. Shortstop, number 8, Emily Evans. Evans steps in. 5-0 is the lead. She's Emily Murphy. I'm Jim Douthit. Thanks for joining us here on the Union Sports Network. Jennifer Fisher now has joined us, and she just keeps smiling and saying, "This is awesome." Is that the only thing you've scripted up tonight for us, Jennifer? This is awesome. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. There you go. There you go. Part of our trivia. We're ready. Go ahead. You played softball? Could have played in college. Are we going to get, is it going to be the old people telling stories about? Okay, got it. Right. A chalkboard. Swung on, throw down to second. Out. Great throw by Franklin. Gets the runner in Clay. And not to interrupt your story, but Emily, Franklin's got an arm, and we've seen it all year long.
Yeah, it's a great throw.
1-2, 1 out now, and they get the lead runner. And this is something that we saw last night, the battle and the fighting. You're down by 5, but you're not quitting, and that's nice to see.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say when you guys won the state championship, in the conversation, the quick little conversations we've had about that, there wasn't a whole lot of struggle as that's ripped to left field. Did you guys run rule quite a few? You said you had a little problem with Owasso, but, gosh, that's all you've talked about.
Yeah. I mean,
if you're that good, you're that good.
Offensively, we were really strong. 1 through 9 pretty much hit fairly consistently, so that helps.
Catcher number 7, Kylie Lamont. Yeah, if you're well, you've got 10 seniors.
Right.
That means a lot. Now, what was it like leading up to that? Obviously, you don't just all of a sudden put 10 seniors on the field and you guys go out and win a state championship. Obviously, your freshman through junior year, you guys had to be pretty solid and had your chances at that time as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I think a lot of us were on varsity our freshman year, so I think that experience built over several years into our senior year. And then going back to travel ball too, playing competitively against strong teams in the off-season.
Ripped to right center field. That'll score 1. And Lamont's in with her triple. And Union is down by 6 now as a well-hit place ball, and there was a big gap out there. And Kylie Lamont found it for sure. Third baseman, number 2, Maddie Messenger. All right, so part 2 of your story. So we're back in the day. You had to write on the chalkboard. Got it. Okay.
But back in the day, if you were a private school kid, you could go play at a public school.
Oh, and where did you go to private school then? Metro Christian. That was before they were the powerhouse that they are now in many sports. Yeah, I know. I'm picking on Metro Christian right now a little bit. So. Yes, you do. 1-0, rip to Owens. Nice backhand there. Throw home. In time. Great job by Owens as they're sending the runner. And nice throw by Owens. And defense tonight, Emily, looking pretty good.
Yeah, they look really strong, and things seem to be going their way.
Left fielder number 10, Macy Childers. Owens with a nice defense, and Monica Franklin come up with a great stop. So again, talking about your Union careers, take me back. We talked a little bit about the fact that you guys just didn't show up and start winning. Take me back to your sophomore, junior year. What was that like? Did you get close to the tournament and then not make it to the finals? Did you lose in the finals? What was that like for you guys?
So my sophomore year, we made it to state, but we lost early on. So I think that experience kind of helped, fuel us to and want us to come back and win sometime, before our careers ended with Union.
When you get a taste of that, as that's fouled away, when you get a taste of that, it kind of lingers in the back of your throat.
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
Made it to this point, we should be able to do it again and do better.
And that's got to be a great feeling. Now, coaches here, obviously, I believe you played with Courtney Dobson. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so, what's that relationship been like? Obviously, you guys have stayed in contact. You've stayed in contact with Courtney over the years. Any other players that you've kind of stayed with?
Yeah. There's a lot of the girls that I played with in our senior class that still live in Tulsa, and I'm still really close with. So that's been really good to have that friendship for a long time. Pop out to Dickerson. But Broken Arrow scratches one across. She's Emily Murphy. I'm Jim Douthit. We're back with the bottom of the 4th right after this.
So, hey, Union fans, just because it's a home game doesn't mean that you have to go home when this is all over. Raising Cane's is open after the game until about 11 o'clock to feed your victory celebration hunger. That's Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers at 71st and Highway 169. One love. Leading up for Union, center fielder, number 2, Cat Gibson.
So Cat Gibson steps in, 6-0. Six nothing now, bottom of the fourth. Ripped foul. Boy, nobody knew where that was. Everybody was looking around for it. Now, you know the cold fronts come through, as we've talked a little bit about. Imagine no cold front, wind out of the south, and sitting here.
Very hot.
Oh, it's awful. Yeah, it's pretty good. And you guys could see the sun is going to be taking over here very, very shortly, so we'll see. And it's happened a couple of times that we've done these broadcasts where home plate umpire will actually say, okay, we're going to take a break for just a few minutes until that sun – it doesn't affect us at all because it hits us, but as soon as it kind of clears that batter's box and there's some shade in the batter's box, they'll come back to play.
Yeah.
This field has faced the same direction as long as I know, and obviously it hadn't changed here for you either, has it?
Yeah, it's always been this way.
Struggles with that sun, you remember? That's
I mean,
pretty specific, I know, but
yeah, I think, when playing you get used to sun and ways to
shield
block
it. Right.
And, yeah. So I think
Did you play
it's
with
just something
sunglasses?
you're used to. Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Mm-hmm. If the sun was really bad.
Right. Did you play better with sunglasses?
About the same.
Okay, all right. Just checking. It's one of those things. We joke about being superstitious, but any superstitions like that with you in your career, whether in high school or in college?
I think before I went up to bat, I did the same things every time, just because I think it helps with you mentally and just kind of getting set and ready. It's
Preparing
important to have that pre-at-bat routine.
Right on. That makes a lot of sense. Pitcher number 6, Lily Hance. So Hance steps in, and Smith has now struck out 2, 4, 6, 8 Union players. And we are 3 1/3 inning through this game. Hot pitcher's tough to overcome.
It is.
Tough to overcome. You may have heard Sean say she's good.
Yeah.
So again, talking about a pitcher when they're hot like this, you want to jump on her first pitch. Anything else that you can do, because right now she's dealing.
Yeah, I think in this situation, it's just important for someone to just put the bat on the ball, make something happen, and then not only make the defense work on BA's side, but also kind of get something going offensively for Union as well.
If she's dealing like this, is this going to be one of those things? Rip back to Smith, off her glove, right to the third baseman, and in time. Great defense there by Broken Arrow. What I was going to ask, is it one of those things where you just, I'm going to lay down a bunt?
Yeah.
Anything to get on,
Sometimes.
make them work, especially surprise them. They're both corners are playing pretty deep. Third baseman, number 3, JC4.
Yeah, I think even just laying down a bunt helps offensively and just kind of gives confidence on that side and helps really just make something happen.
Outside, she's ahead 1-0. Is it a different conversation when you've got a veteran like 4 coming up, if you're a coach, than if it's a freshman in Kat Gibson or Danny Perez when they're going out down by 6? Is it a different conversation that you have with them depending upon veteran player or not?
No, I don't think so. I think everybody just needs to take their own approach of how what they do best hitting wise, and just making sure they stick to that plan, and kind of working it on an individual basis.
Must have been a little low. 3-0. That just missed. So JC will take here on 3-0, we believe.
I don't remember.
Sean's asking Emily if he remembers all the different signs. Right down the middle, and that's
too long ago.
Oh, I bet you it'd come back to you pretty quick if you stepped out there.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you've done great tonight here with us. So talking about everything that we've done. 3-1 now. 4 right down the middle. JC didn't agree with it, but that looked like a pretty good pitch. Maybe a little high. Sean shrugging his shoulders. What'd you think, Emily? A little high?
I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it looked
personally.
pretty good. Okay. Swung on, pop foul, just out of play. Trying over there, giving it a good chase, but she couldn't come up with it. Three, two out. 6-0 is the lead. JC4, one of our seniors that we celebrated early, up to bat here. Ripped. Pop foul. Back. Called off. And the put out by Messenger. Union goes in order. Broken Arrow coming up right after this.
The humble Raising Cane's chicken finger. 24 hours of marinating and not a word about its flavor. It credits that terrifically tangy sauce. And the cane sauce? Well, it's okay with that. But a premium, fresh, never-ever frozen tenderloin, hand-battered and cooked to order? Doesn't exactly need to brag now, does it? Same for the crinkle-cut fries. Center cut from the longest potatoes Idaho has to offer and added to every meal. You know, just because you have bragging rights doesn't mean you have to use them. Raising Cane's.
Leading off, first baseman, number 13, Emma Trine. So Emma Trine steps in. Welcome back here to Union Softball on the Union Sports Network. She's Emily Murphy. I'm Jim Douthit. Quite the 15-minute or so delay because of the sun, Em.
Yeah. Very kind of helps, or it stops the momentum a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. We hope it took a little bit of the wind out of the sails of Broken Arrow. Tensia
Sure.
Norman steps in. She's the new pitcher for Union. Hansel moved to center, Gibson to left, and Perez will be in right field defensively. The infield stays the same, and Dickerson, Magara, Owens, and 4 right to left as you're viewing from home. And, of course, Franklin behind the dish. So a delay like this, you've obviously played through weather delays.
Mm-hmm.
What does it do to you mentally when you're losing like Union is?
I think it can be good and bad. I think it's all in how you, what you do in that delay. So if you take time to kind of refocus and then, take some cuts or something like that to help kind of get you back in the swing of it, I think that's a productive way that can help you.
Right fielder, Elia Scarborough.
Help you move forward and hopefully bring up some momentum for the last few innings of the game.
Last few innings. What does it do to you? Let's look at it from a Broken Arrow side. You're up 6-0. You just want to get this over with.
Yeah.
Does it take any momentum away from you?
I think it can. I think it, you don't lose focus. There's not that momentum of, base hit after base hit and being in that flow. So it stops that, and you might not be as focused once you come back from the delay.
Rip to 4, and 4 gets the put out at second base as they'll get the lead runner. I believe they're going to have a pinch runner in. Courtesy runner, if you will, in number 15. Nope, not at all. Scarborough will stay in. Now batting for Broken Arrow, number 6, Bailey Melton. So Melton will step to the plate. This is her first time we've seen her this evening. She'll take inside, and that almost hit her. Norman comes in relief. As we said, lots of changes in the outfield, but the infield stays the same. Runner jumps off, and it's high. 2-0.
Yeah.
So graduated, Emily, you did in 2016 with a degree in sports management. What was the thought as that's ripped to 4? She'll get the lead runner, and not in time as Magara can't hang on to the throw by 4. But what was the thought there for you in sports management? What was the love that you wanted to get into?
So I started off wanting to do athletic administration. So that's what I did at ORU for 3 years. And then after that, I decided I wanted to do more of the academic side. I still like working at a university and that side of it, but wanted to focus more on academics. So that's why I'm at OSU Tulsa, and I was fortunate enough to get the job and then have the opportunity. So.
Yeah, very good, very good. So athletic director down the road maybe for you? Is that maybe a thought?
Probably not.
Okay. Not too sure. In sports management, and I'm assuming with that degree, there's a lot of different places you can go with it.
Yes, it's very versatile for sure. Lots of different routes you can take.
2-1 now. Presley Cole, center fielder. There's 2 on, 1 away. Broken Arrow on top, 6-0. Thanks for joining us here on the Sports Network. Ripped to 4 off her foot, and everybody's going to be safe. Boy, that was a laser beam. 4 couldn't get her glove down there in time, and everybody's safe. Second baseman, Taylor Clay. So Clay steps in with the bases loaded and 1 out. And Broken Arrow could sure open it wide open right here. Emily with some timely hitting.
Yeah, for sure. They have the advantage with bases loaded and then only 1 out.
That's for sure. Big gap in right center. Huge gap in right center.
Yeah, it looks looks like our center fielder shifted a little bit, so there is that pull out there.
High. Now, I'm not, talk to me for a minute, because being a center fielder, I'm looking out here, and I'm thinking that I'm wanting Perez to come over a little bit. She seems like she's hugging a little bit more line. What defensive strategy do you see working out here as that's ripped foul?
I think, we've been through the lineup several times on the Broken Arrow side, so just seeing where this girl specifically has been hitting all night, and if she's been hitting more to the left side to have that shift, so that could be why they have that. But typically, a lot of the times for lefties, the shift's the other way, but that, again, could vary on the hitter as well.
Throw down a third, not in time. Big baseball fan?
Yeah, I like baseball.
Who's your team?
I don't really have a team.
You don't have a team. Okay. But you've seen the shift, and Sean and I have actually talked about it a few times, where they actually take your infielders, and all of a sudden you got 3 or 4 infielders on one side. Double play, Owens, the rip to her and back over to third, and we'll double and get out of the inning. And what looked like could have been a lot of damage done by Broken Arrow, but a nice play by Owens there.
Yeah, definitely. Double play is huge in key situations like that.
Especially with bases juice like that, and we said Broken Arrow could open it up wide open, and they didn't, thanks to the timely fielding by Owens, and the just right place, right time sometimes is great. Union's coming up. It's 6-0 Broken Arrow right here on the Union Sports Network.
Now pitching for Broken Arrow, number 12, Addison Normandy. Now batting for Union, second baseman, number 15, Alex Magara.
So Magara will step in. Addison Normandy is the new pitcher. And first pitch swinging popped out. I believe they've got a new catcher in Jordan Davis as well. So some defensive changes for Broken Arrow. Shortstop, Sydney Owens, as Owens steps in. And as I look around, there's defensive changes all over the place. So I believe they've got a new second baseman as well. And you might look on the sheet there. Tell me who 21 is.
Taylor Clay.
Taylor Clay now playing second base. Rip foul. One of the things that I've noticed about Broken Arrow is their girls, and Sean, you can talk a little bit about this as well. They're huge. And I don't mean that, and that's not, but compared to I'm talking about frame, stature, goodness gracious. Smith, who was pitching, she looked like she was about 6'2" from our vantage point. A lot of size in the Broken Arrow lineup for sure. A lot going on, that's for sure. That's for sure. Outside. 2-2. Like to see Owens get a little one-out rally going here. But the way Broken Arrow's been slinging it from the circle tonight, Emily, it's going to be tough slaying here for the next few innings. Ripped. Get down, ball. Nope. It'll be foul. You even start pushing as an announcer sometime. You're trying to will the ball fair, when you get to these points.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked out very well, Mr. Irwin. Thank you very, very much. Outside just missing. 3-2. Good eye by Owens here. And again, what you're telling the girls hasn't really changed. Just get the bat on the ball and let's see what we can get done.
I think it's the same thing, like what we talked about in the beginning of the game.
Swung on and foul. Good battle here by Owens. Keep herself in it. So you've been at Oklahoma State now since January of this year, correct?
Yes.
So changing jobs right in the middle of a pandemic, very nicely done.
Yes.
It
was a challenge for sure.
I bet it was. I bet it was. After you spent, I believe it was 3 years at ORU, is that correct?
Yeah, almost 3 years.
Inside. And Owens draws the walk, and so you know what? It doesn't matter. Let's get a runner on and
I think
see what can happen.
Works just as well as a base hit at this point. Helps get base runners on, make something happen.
Number 8, Tensia Norman. So Norman steps in now, pitcher. Owens on first. Owens looking like she wanted to run, but she won't. Nice little cat and mouse game between the new catcher and Owens at first. Square around a bunt. Runner goes. Didn't get a good jump. And Owens is out. Not too sure what the call was there.
Yeah. Wonder if it was a hit and run maybe. Might have been a missed sign.
Owens didn't get quite the jump that she wanted to, for sure, if it was. And now Tensia Norman kind of looks around like, I'm not too sure what I should have done there. So I agree with you. Maybe a little miscommunication. And, it's one of those things. When things are going well, they're going well. But when the wheels start to fall off, boy, it's hard to put those lug nuts back on when you're going 55 miles an hour.
Yeah, definitely.
2-1 now to Norman. Pitch. Strike 2. Swing and miss, strike 3, and they'll strike out to end this inning and end this threat. Top of the 6th coming up. Broken Arrow on top, 6-0.
Fans, don't forget there's no better place to refuel after the game than Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. Head over to Raising Cane's after this game is over. Located at 71st and Highway 169, as they're open late till 11 o'clock. That's Raising Cane's at 71st and Highway 169. Leading off the Broken Arrow, number 8, Emily Evans.
So Evans steps in here, top of 6. Tensia Norman came in last inning. And Union got lucky with some good defense and got out of was a real jam for them. Bases loaded, 1 out, and a line drive to Owens, and she was able to double up. And so keeping your head in the game, 6 runs, I hate to say it's not a lot. I know it's a lot the deeper we get, but it's still not something that you can overcome that.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you kind of get a rally going and things like that, it's definitely manageable.
To Owens again. She'll gobble it up over to first. In time and quickly, there's 2 away. And this is what you want to see when you're down by 6, is a quick inning.
Yeah, get back on offense for sure.
Now batting number 2, Maddie Messenger. So Messenger comes in. Nobody on, quickly 2 away. And Norman's pitched well. Coming in relief, especially this inning. Low 2-0. Isn't it amazing once that sun goes behind how kind of everything brightens up and then how much cooler it is?
Yeah, cooler and
it's just
easy
sitting
to
here,
see,
right?
For sure.
Ripped to 4, nicely gobbled up by her and over to first. And 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers. Great inning there. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Union down by 6.
Leading off for Union, number 10, Danny Perez.
So Perez steps in, bottom of 6. So you were asking about who else has done color with me. It's been a family affair. When we first started this, I did girls and boys basketball last year, and my son-in-law stepped in, Casey Jordan, he's a huge Oklahoma State fan. He was a kind of a stud at a little town called Vian, Oklahoma, played a lot of baseball and basketball down there, then went on and played baseball at Connors. The great thing about coming from a little school like that is that, as he said, every time, when sports came around, we all had to play or we wouldn't have enough to put on a team, right? We obviously don't have those kind of problems at Union with 16,000 students. But he also had a graduating class at 14. He'll correct me if I'm wrong, but it's pretty small. Yeah. Pretty small, so they all had to play. But no, what we were trying to do, and the reason that Courtney reached out to you and then I reached out to you, we'd love to bring a lot of the alumni back to jump on the microphone, and you could talk a little bit about it, Emily. It's pretty easy to get up here and just talk, right?
Yeah, for the most part, once you get in the routine of it.
Right, I mean, there's no cameras in your face.
That's the big thing. I think I'd freeze up on camera.
Yeah, and I think if you saw it as the base on balls is drawn there by Perez, designated player, number 16, Ashlynn Hernandez. So Hernandez will step in now. But, yeah, I mean, it's just really, if you didn't know the camera was there, you would think we were doing radio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
it's pretty easy to come in, and then you've been around the sport, you've played it long enough that it's easier for you to go, okay, this is what's happening here. So, for example, we're down by 6. We got a runner on first. Obviously, you want to put the ball in play, but you hitting and running here. What's the idea, Coach? What do you want to do?
I think bunting wouldn't be a bad thing to do in this situation. Move a runner in scoring position, and then especially if whoever's behind her, which I'm not sure who it is, but
top of the order's coming up.
Yeah,
so 1, 2,
so
3.
if it's the top of the order, then they can get something going, get some runs on the board.
High 2-1. And I would love to see. You're right. I'd like to see him lay down the bunt because obviously swinging away tonight hasn't done us very good.
Right.
So whatever it takes to get on. I will say that talking about that, our boys baseball last year, we are fast. I mean, lightning fast. And our leadoff and Jaden McNeely would do that quite often, just laid out a bunt, and I guarantee he's going to beat it out every single time. The kid can flat fly, and so we've got some speed. We've got some speed for sure, and it'd be nice to exploit that.
Yeah, I think being able to utilize it's very important.
Now, Coach coming out to have a little conversation as the count goes to 3-1. When there is a count like this, inevitably, I always see the players run down to the third base coach and Coach Pease. What's that conversation about when they go down there to talk to him?
I mean, a 3-1's a hitter's count, so the odds, are kind of in your favor. So I think just watching for a good pitch because it's likely going to be coming because a pitcher doesn't want to walk you.
So it's going to be something hittable for sure.
Yeah.
Not throwing it off the plate,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So 3-1. Swung on strike 2. She was definitely swinging away there.
Yeah.
High and they'll walk. So 2 runners on now and a little rally as we get to the top of the order. Catcher, number 14, Monica Franklin. Franklin steps in, the only junior on this team. Coach Pease is going to come down and get a courtesy runner in. Going to put the flex player in. So Bailey Dickerson will come in. And run a little more speed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Speed on the base pass in situations like this are a good thing to have.
Because, again, 6-0, it's not a deficit that can't be overcome. You've got 6 outs to work with.
Right.
And you don't have to get it all back. And you won't get it all back with one swing of the bat.
Yeah.
Outside, 1-0. And for the first time tonight, Broken Arrows does seem to be struggling just a little bit with 2 runners on for Union. Fouled away, 1-1. This would be the first time we've had a runner in scoring position this evening. Yes, sir, Sean, that'd be correct. And this is a tough team in Broken Arrow. We knew this coming in. Now, I'll ask you this. Typically, whoa, and Perez way off the bag. Catcher in Broken Arrow wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. Nobody was there to cover second, so Perez is safely back. Typically, your senior night, you like to have the team that you think you're going to beat, right? Come in. So I'm not going to knock Coach Pease, but Broken Arrow probably wouldn't be my first choice on senior night. Memorable senior nights for you?
I think my senior night we played Jinx.
Okay.
And that was a pretty big rivalry because a lot of the girls that were seniors for Jinx, a lot of the girls in my class played against in travel ball. So there's just the school Union Jinx rivalry on top of playing against each other for a long time.
Yeah, that it doesn't really matter what sport, but when you play the Trojans, there's always that heightened,
Yes.
heightened, not fear by any stretch of the imagination, but that heightened
Expectation.
awareness of who your opponent is when you're playing. That's for sure. Ball gets away. 3-2 now. See what Normandy can dial up. 3-2 runners on first and second. Franklin at the plate. And that swung on, well hit. But right there is Childers, and there's one away. Nice position there by Childers. And well hit, well struck ball.
Yeah, that was a hard hit ball just right to her.
Left fielder, Kat Gibson. So Gibson will step in. Now playing left. She started off in center and Pease with some shifts in the outfield. Keeping Gibson in the game. One away, first and second. Strike one. And Norberton looks like she's settled back in. She gets ahead in the count. Swung on. That's going to get in the gap, and that'll fall. One run will score. In safely is Bailey Dickerson to third, and Union gets its first run of the evening. How about that, Emily Murphy?
Very exciting. Hopefully they can keep it going and keep hitting the ball like they have in the past few at-bats.
And there's going to be a change in the pitching. Broken Arrow will change their pitcher, let them warm up. We'll take a quick break. 6-1 now, one out. Runners at second and third for Union when we're back right here on the Union Sports Network.
Now pitching for Broken Arrow, number 6, Bailey Melton. And now batting, number 6, Lily Hance.
So Lily Hance steps in after Bailey Melton checks in for Broken Arrow. Pitching change 6-1, runners at second and third for Union. And a little bit of a mini rally up the middle, base hit. One will come home. Coach Pease will hold him up there, but Hance in with a sliding save double, and 6-2 now. And a great opportunity for the senior and JC4. Third baseman, number 3, JC4. JC4 steps to the plate. She gets a nice hand. And Emily, this is getting exciting.
It is getting exciting.
Inside. It's interesting in that the pitcher, their starting pitcher in Smith, I believe her name was, had fanned, goodness, 8 through 4, and they decide to pull her. Now that's after the delay we have in with the sun. So I'm wondering if coaches are starting to rethink that because she was on fire.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
She was. So I don't know what the thinking was there. If maybe, I don't know if they have a game tomorrow or something, they needed to save her for that.
We definitely are playing tomorrow as Del City will be here. And that's ripped right at the left fielder. Runner tags. Home safe. Throw to third. Out of there. But not before Union scratches across 3. They cut the lead in half, 6-3. Broken Arrow coming up. Top of 7 right after this.
Folks, don't forget Friday night Union football will host the Owasso Rams. Ticket information, go to unionps.org/athletics or call 918-357-7410. That's Friday night. Union football hosts Owasso. And don't forget, tomorrow night, we're back here as Del City comes. We'll finish the game from August 16th and then play a makeup game, which was originally scheduled for the 17th of September. So a lot of softball here tomorrow night as Union welcomes in the ladies from Del City. That matchup will start at 5:30.
As we're back here live here on the Union Sports Network, she's Emily Murphy. I'm Jim Douthit, and great inning there for Union as they're able to cut the lead in half. Now batting and leading off for Broken Arrow, number 10, and Macy Childers. So Childers will step in top of 7, and we need to go 1, 2, 3 here.
Yeah, definitely keep the momentum going on our side.
Swung on. Owens. She plays that ball well. Boy, she looked like she was going to charge it, and then she stopped.
Yeah.
To play the hop.
Probably a good move.
And there's quickly one away. Who we got, 13? Number 13, Emma Trine. So Trine steps in, one away. Norman's come in relief and put some zeros up on the board, Emily, and that's a great sign for us.
Yeah. I feel like she's let her defense work a lot. So I think that's helped as far as the quick innings and not letting them score any runs.
For sure, and it was something that we saw that the girls bear down last night. And after Gibson came in and pitched a great game, Hans came in relief. And but we saw defense working well, and that's what we're seeing in the latter half of this game.
Yeah.
For sure. 2-1 now is the count to Trine. Swung on, hit well. We're right there, and there's 2 away. Gibson there, and there's quickly 2 away. Next up for Broken Arrow, number 15, Elia Scarborough. Swung on just over a leaping 4. And Scarborough will get on. Next up for Broken Arrow, number 6, Bailey Melton. So Melton steps in, runner on first, 1 out. Ripped up the middle. There's a base hit. Is there 2 outs or 1 out?
There's 2.
Okay, there's 2. Because I was like, I thought we were through a couple real fast. Then it's okay. And a fly out, exactly. Number 3, Presley Cole. So Presley Cole will step in now. Still Union not in bad shape. Runners at first and second, so you got to force it first, second, and third with 1 out. You don't want to pressure here too much, right, Emily?
Yeah, I think, the easiest out at this point's the best thing to get out of the inning.
But everybody's got a job to do at this point because you never know when all of a sudden I'm going to go throw over to first or I'm going to throw to second and touch third.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. You got to be ready for it. 1-1 now. High. Norman having a little trouble with control as what's she doing there? She's releasing the ball a little too late with it coming out high like that?
It's supposed Looks like it's going to be a changeup, but it goes a little too high where it's not in the strike zone.
Throw down to first, gets away. Runner will advance there. Franklin with the quick throw. And the Broken Arrow coach was waving her home, but she pulled up as Perez ran the ball in. So still nobody hurt here. Runners at the corners now, but you do take away that with the force at any base. Besides home, of course. Swung on 3-2. Hit well. On her horse, 3 away. So Broken Arrow strands 2. No damage there, Emily. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 6-3. Broken Arrow on top.
All right, folks, Cane's baskets are now only $3. Oh, I heard you. They're only $3 now, so get over there and get your Cane's basket before they're all done.
Leading off for Union, number 15, Alex Magara. So Magara steps in, down by 3 we are, and we saw our bats come alive last inning. Emily, you want more of the same from our girls right now?
Yeah, I think the approach that they had last inning worked really well for them, and I think can work for them for the remainder of the game.
So 6-3. She's Emily Murphy. I'm Jim Douthit, class of 2012. 2012, sorry. Obviously, I'm not reading my notes because they're right in front of me. Trying to go off memory, and we know what happens, right, Andy, if I go off my memory? Just doesn't work really well. 2012. I appreciate you joining us. This has been fun, and I hope you're having a good time with this. It's great to have you in the booth, and it's awesome for you to come and talk about your alma mater as Magara's down 1-2 now.
No.
But the field's in the same place. It just looks a little different now as far as the plush carpeting that they get to play on now.
It's a little bit different turf versus dirt.
Yes.
Turf.
But it looks like dirt, right?
Yeah.
We try.
Makes laundry easier, though.
Now we're thinking. There you go. I didn't even really think of it like that. It would make laundry a little easier. Swung on, popped up. First baseman will give chase, but that'll just be off the top of the Broken Arrow dugout and out of play. 1-2. Magara, good battle here for her. Keep the ball and not strike out, taking the pitches that she wants and fouling them off. Inside, little flare, that'll fall, and a base hit, and just like that, leadoff runner on, Emily, and a little rally begins.
Yeah, I think it's a good start for the bottom of the 7th for sure.
Shortstop, number 1, Sydney Owens. So Owens steps in, runner on first, nobody out. Very similar to how the last inning started. get a runner on, and you never know what happens. Outside. I do believe I hear a little drumming and some clapping going on.
Yeah, looks like some cheering.
A little cheering.
Going on.
Fans have come alive, and I'll tell you, 6-3, nobody has really left as we look. After we had the little bit of a 15, 20-minute weather delay, or sun delay, I guess we should say. Nobody has left the field. It is a beautiful night.
It is really nice out today.
Didn't get too much rain like we were hoping. Thanks, Travis Meyer and James Adelot. Appreciate it, boys. Dan Threlkeld and the rest of you. Yeah, make sure I go through every station. I'm missing somebody. Channel 2's guy. Yeah, Mike Collier. I forgot, Mike. I apologize. You're a big Dave Matthews Band fan. So am I. So, you know the Dave Matthews Band? Okay, all right. You can't shake your head. You know they can't see you shaking your head. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't want to do sign language now. You can't shut up on us now. We've only got 3 outs. We've only got 3 outs. Oh, we're going to win it. Didn't jinx anything. Stop it. Outside, 2-2. Owens battling big. Conversations between our scoreboard operator and our director, producer going on behind me, and I think I'm just going to ignore him. Emily, I would suggest you do the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. They will chatter. They will bark a few things back and forth. Fouled off. Nice battle here by Owens. So you got to go to Stillwater today. I had my colleagues in Emily, Ashley, Shannon Gibson, and Dr. Robinson made that same trip, and I think it was for the same thing. What was the conference about? Is that swung on? That's going to pop foul. What was the conference in Oklahoma State about, Stillwater?
It was a career fair for engineering students. So the MBA table had, or the MBA department had a table there.
Had a table there. Very good. Very good. Well, then maybe it wasn't the same thing. It's funny because I know our college and our college advisors went to something big there at Oklahoma State. I was assuming it was the same thing. As that swung on to second base, over to first in time, but no double play. So they'll get the lead runner. And a nice play there by Clay for Broken Arrow. Pitcher number 8, Tensia Norman. So Norman will step up, 1 away, runner on first, and we're still in a pretty good position, Emily, where we can do some damage.
Yeah, for sure. Silver runner on and only 1 out.
And again, another huge gap. It appears to be in right center, as it seems like the center fielder is shading just a little bit to her left, or her right, I guess it would be, but into left field. The drums continue. The chatter from the dugouts continue, and Norman's behind 0-2. When that was a nice pitch.
That was a good pitch.
Tough to catch up to that.
Yeah.
Low, 1-2. Nice take there by Norman. Swung on and struck her out. And Norman goes down swinging. And Union's down to its last out, Emily. Next up for Union, number 10, Danny Perez. So Perez now the last hope as the scoreboard resets itself again out there. Perez steps in, runner on first. Just low and inside. 1-0. Quickly, any favorite teachers you want to give a shout out to while you're here, Emily? Do you remember anybody comes to mind?
Not sure.
Not sure. No, and that's okay. I get it. It's one of those things that after you've been gone, the 10 years almost coming up on your 10th.
I know.
10th, yeah. I just celebrated my 35th last weekend, so they go quickly. So enjoy every moment you got because they fly by very, very quickly, I can tell you. 1-2 now. And Union's down to its last strike. Before I let you go, Emily, thanks. I can't thank you enough for joining us. I know you and I have talked about doing this for a couple of weeks. It's great to have you here, and it's great to welcome you back as an alumni.
And thanks for
joining
having
us.
me.
You bet. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. Outside, 2-2 now. Perez stays alive, 2-2. Deuces across the top of our scoreboard here. Swung on, grounded to third, gobbled up over to first, ball game. 6-3. Broken Arrow takes out Union tonight, but it's senior night, so I'm going to make a quick announcement to the fans here at the stands. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for tonight, but hey, one more time, let's give it a big hand for all 4 of our seniors this evening. Ladies, thanks so much for all the memories you've made here at Union. Thanks for coming out. Hey, don't forget, tomorrow night, Del City will finish up one game and have another game. Del City, all the festivities start tomorrow night at 5:30. Fans, thanks for coming out. Canes, thanks for being here. Good night, everybody. So that's it for us. Broken Arrow takes out Union tonight, 6-3. Our next softball game comes to you, as you heard, tomorrow night as Union plays host to Del City. And Emily, anything you want to say as we wind it down here?
I don't think so.
Well, I appreciate you joining us so much. So tomorrow night, as you heard, a continuation of a game from back in August, and then we'll play a full game against Del City. Festivities start at 5:30. So for Emily Murphy, our producer-director, Andy Irwin, I'm Jim Douthat. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great evening. Good night.